Hey everybody, it's your girl Miss Shada Bay. Guys, y'all haven't seen or heard from me in a very long time, and it's a reason for that. I'd like to apologize to you guys, because y'all know I usually have me a video back out talking about love after lockup, and I plan to do another hair video, but right now it's just not a good time. The reason why y'all ain't heard from me because I was affected by the winter storm. I was one of the people that was affected by it. I was one of the people that lost power and water. Um, I was one of the people that it took by surprise. And today is the 1st of March, and we've had power for about 4 days. So the power's back on, but we still have no water. And this has been since the 15th. Because I remember the last video I posted, that was Valentine's Day. My phone had little charge, so I put my phone on the charger and I went to sleep. But I remember waking up out of my sleep cold. Like, the cold woke me up out of my sleep. And I got up and I was instantly like, I need to cut the heater on. My goodness, because it was so cold. And when I went to go cut the heater on, it didn't work. And then I noticed that the lights wasn't cutting on. And I said, oh my God, they done cut my lights off. And I looked, because I know my bill was due on the 15th. And my bill is substantially high, like for just 1 month. My light bill, since I've been in this state, I've been through 3 different light companies, because all their lights, they start you off in the beginning, it'd be like $80 a month or maybe $100. But then after a certain amount of months, your bill rises up to $350 or better a month. And my bill at the current time was $596. So, I instantly get scared, and I'm like, okay, I instantly get scared. I'm like, okay, I need help. I need to get this money up. So I called my kid's father, which is my ex-husband. I told him what was going on. And one thing about him, and I just have to give him props on that, we have our disagreements, and, but one thing I can say, if he knows it's going to affect his kids, whatever it is, he's going to try to do what he can to help. And I told him what was happening, and he instantly sent me. I didn't have to wait 95 years. Within 15 minutes, he put a little over $400 in my account. When he put that money in there, I put it straight on my bill, even adding to the money that I had, so that I could pay the bill. So when the bill was paid, I'm thinking my lights are going to cut back on in 30 minutes or so. But I didn't realize that when I called the light company, I wasn't thinking, I didn't hear a disconnect. It just said, do I want to pay my bill? So then I said, dang, well, my lights might not have been cut off. And then that's when one of my friends called and said, listen, all the people in that state don't have power. A lot of y'all don't have power. It's a power outage. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, dang, okay, well, how long this power outage going to be? Because it's cold. Because I'm talking about it was freezing. And so my girls was getting up. They was like, Mommy, we cold. I said, yeah, we gonna figure something out. I said, I might have to burn some firewood or whatever. But I didn't know what was really going on, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch the news. A lot of people stay informed. They watch the news every day. I had to make a conscious decision for myself because of the trauma and the stuff, the way I grew up. We all big kids. We all have issues, and I hate to make this about me, but see, I'm just starting to unpack my issues as an adult now in my life. I didn't do it when I was supposed to. I didn't know how to. Now I'm starting to unpack it and see the reason why I act the way I act, and why some relationships, the way I respond to certain things, and how I'm so reactive is because of my childhood. Me and my siblings, we went through some traumatic situations as children, and we never dealt with our stuff, and it just messed us up in a lot of areas, okay? especially when it deals with relationships with one another and people, and just things that's going on in the world. Um, when I hear children being molested or raped or killed, or parents doing mean stuff, or their children killing their kids, it's always something. The news only report bad stuff, like the most heinous crimes. They put that on the news. They don't put anything good. I wish that news used to be, my mom said back in the day, news used to be good people, like heroes. That's why people used to want to be a hero, because they would say this heroic person did this. So but not everything's so bad and negative. That's why that young guy, I don't know if y'all remember that Asian dude that shot up all those people, all them kids at that college. He wanted to be famous and known because he knows that he wanted to be known in history, like how the Columbine, the two white boys that went into school and shot up all those people. He wanted to be known like that, but they never gave him that. They never gave him the attention, because he's the one sent his own tapes and everything, because he wanted to be known. And that's why I say, when you got people that watch the news, they want to fit. They looking at their life and they like, dang, my life ain't amounting to anything. Or at least I could be remembered as being a heinous killer or something. So people will know I was here. Like, at least if I'm the person who shot John Lennon, at least they'll know who shot him. Oh, this a-hole named such and such. Okay. Oh, who shot Kennedy? Oh, this a-hole named such and such. They just want to be known as if they can't be who they want to be, they want to be at least the person that kill them. Okay. So it's just crazy. So anyway, I didn't know what's going on. I get up, I go to the store. The store is ransacked. Like, it's nothing in there. I'm just trying to make a sub sandwich. I'm like looking for a tomato or something. I'm like, come on, girls, let's go get us a tomato and stuff. I'm looking for a tomato. So we going around trying to find a tomato. Everything clear. Ain't nothing in the store. Ain't nothing, baby. Nothing in the store. I'm like, where's the food? It wasn't no chips. It definitely wasn't no Roman noodles. You ain't see all. It was like everything was gone. I wasn't looking for that, but I'm just saying those middle aisles was gone. Like, it was nothing in the store. So I'm like, okay, this is a little bit more than what I thought it was going to be. So I know that when stuff like this happen, the first thing that's gone is milk, bread, eggs, water. Most of the time you're not going to find that. Those things be gone fast, ASAP. I'm in line and stuff, and I'm trying to get firewood. No firewood around. I had some firewood that I had from last Christmas, but it wasn't enough to really keep a fire going. And that's why sometimes, in life, we God give us hints on certain things. Every time I went to the grocery store, baby, I'm not even lying to you. Every time I went to the grocery store, I had the urge to want to buy. Every time I went to the grocery store, I had the urge to want to buy firewood. Every time. Every time I would leave, before I leave, something in my spirit would say, buy some firewood and stack it up. And I was like, oh, but I don't feel like carrying it. Because I'm already carrying all these grocery bags. I just didn't feel like carrying the firewood. And sometimes that's the only time, sometimes it just sucks sometimes not to have a partner or a man to help out sometimes, that you can get, you say, baby, can you get me the firewood for me? And, he come back moving his arms, shoulders broad. Baby, I got your firewood. Sometimes that's why you be like, I miss that. I miss some of that. But, that's a whole nother story. And it's funny because men just have a strength that women don't have. That your man could be the size of an ant, baby. Like, he could be just as tiny as he want to be. But you'll be struggling to pick up a box, and he's still, as little as he is, he will pick that box up like it's nothing. You be like, you only weigh 90 pounds. You only weigh 60 pounds with boots on. How you pick that box up? And I'm like 3 times your size, and I'm struggling. And that's because men are more muscle. God created them to be strong. A strong woman, the only people they call strong as women is black women. You a strong black woman. I don't never hear them say you a strong white woman or a strong Latina woman, or everybody else. I've never heard those terms, but I do hear the strong black woman. So it's hard for us to get black men a lot of times to do anything for us like that, like pick up boxes and stuff, unless they think they're going to get some sex or a number. And I hate to say that, but it's true. They like to look at your booty when you walk away. If your booty look right, then he'll be like, yeah, I got your box, baby. Let me get that number. But but if your booty ain't hitting on nothing, they ain't gonna slam that door. You gonna be like, woo! Dang! I'm not gonna get on that. That's a whole nother topic. A lot of reasons why we couldn't find firewood is because it's a lot of people. It's a certain group of people that have means and resources. And anytime things like this happen, because they have the resources they have, they don't think about anybody else. They buy up everything. Like that's the same thing happened when the coronavirus situation hit. Like, you couldn't find toilet paper, you couldn't find nothing. Luckily, I had that stuff because I had just went to the grocery store and I bought that stuff. But I bought water and toilet paper and stuff. So we was good, on that. But it was a lot of people that wasn't, because it was people that were just gouging up this stuff. And I hate to be like that, but everybody, we don't even have to name that group of people that does that. But this group of people, they so patriotic and they're so Christian. But when stuff like that happen, they don't think of their fellow man. They just think about themselves and their families. And as long as they have it. I know somebody who stays in Korea. And she gave a very beautiful, took awesome pictures showing like everything that was happening in Korea as far as the coronavirus. And I mean, they was out there in suits cleaning the streets, steam cleaning the streets, and steam cleaning the I want to say subways, but it's not, like the trains. Steam cleaning. I mean, they're just cleaning the whole city, baby. She's a teacher, so instantly they made them stay home, and they had virtual studies. She set her room up like a school, and the kids, she would show pictures of her children, all these cute little Korean children in their pajamas, going to school, listening to the teacher. She told me, she said, we didn't have, I feel bad for y'all in America, because when I heard what was going on in America, I was like, wow, that didn't happen here in Korea. She said in Korea, when they told them about the coronavirus, everybody there accepted what might have to come. What they heard the news, they accepted it, and they said, well, we have to continue to live life the way we've been living it, so that way we won't run out of resources. So nobody went to the store and bought up all the milk, bought up all the Pampers, bought up all the toilet paper. They just bought as they needed. If they needed that at the time, just like a normal day, like I need to go get some milk and some water, they went there and it was plentiful of that stuff, because nobody was just buying it up. But Americans, and especially this certain group of people, they just buy it all up because they have the money. I'm in line, and I don't fall in the rich category. I don't have a bunch of money, okay? Let me put it like this, and this is the majority of Americans. I'm about 2 paychecks away, maybe 3 paychecks away from being homeless, okay? So I just put it like that. So I got my 2 daughters, and here come this particular person of this same group of people, and she's telling me, oh, well, we're going to go to our second property with solar panels and a generator. I'm like, why you come telling me this? What is the purpose of you telling me this? You don't know me. You know, you see, unless you gonna invite me and my daughters there, please keep that to yourself. Why would you come brag to me about you have what you have? You know, they just so insensitive, you know. And sometimes I get aggravated because I think, you know, if it wasn't for slavery, all those years of your group of people just collecting money and just making money off the backs of slaves with their inventions and just their hard work, you wouldn't have the things you have. This is decades. This is centuries of wealth off of free labor, off of my ancestors' back. It's just crazy. I don't judge, and I want you to know, I don't judge this whole group of people. See, we got to stop being so hypersensitive, because I got a group of people in my race the same way, okay? It's a group of people in my race that act just like that group of people, okay? It's in every race. So we're not gonna, I don't want people to say, oh, she racist. You know, that's all that anytime you talk about something, we just have to be 100. Okay, keep it real. I'm not racist by far. If anything, I might be classist or something. I get tired of rich people throwing how poor I am in my face. That's the only thing I might be. I don't know what they're called, but I'm far from racist. And I mean, it's the same thing with the homosexuals and all that. It's just hard. You know, you can't say anything. Everybody so hypersensitive. You know, if you say, well, I don't agree with you being a gay man, you 40 and you dating a 19-year-old gay man. Oh, you homophobic. It's just like, leave people alone. I'm not homophobic. You're a child molester. You should be dating those 16, 17-year-old boy. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, you can't say anything. So after that, I go home, you know, because I realized I wasn't going to find no firewood. I go home, and my neighbor, she has a boyfriend. He's from that particular group of people race, and he's from that race of people, and his family had a property of land. They have generators and stuff, you know. So she was going to stay with them. So anyway, she comes to my house and gives me like 4 pieces of firewood and some other stuff, you know, because she was worried about me and my girls. And I thank God that she gave me that firewood, because I was able to burn that firewood. It was cold still. Even though I was burning that firewood, it was still really cold. It was 1 degree in my place, even with the firewood burning. I started burning the wood at 10 o'clock. The firewood was all gone by 1 a.m. I cried when that firewood was gone, but you couldn't see my tears because they was frozen. When I tell you it was so cold in there, and I was shaking like the whole night. I was scared more so for my kids, checking on them, trying to make sure that they were still alive. You know what? You know what gets to me? You know, when stuff like this happens, you always have a group of people who don't know what to say. I done saw people on even the internet, you know, they have a big platform. They instantly judge everybody with this situation. They instantly just start judging people about why they wasn't prepared. You should have been prepared. You should have had all this stuff together. You need. It's time. We've been telling people for years to be prepared, to be prepared, to be prepared. Okay, I understand this. You know, people always go on by being prepared, but I've been through so many hurricanes, and one thing I learned going through natural disasters, you can't control Mother Nature, baby, okay? You could tell me, you could say what you want to say about having all this stuff and you a survivor and all this stuff. The truth is, the average American is not going to make it, okay? Because we haven't been through things like that. You know, we just don't, I don't care how prepared you get. A lot of us not prepared the poop in a bucket. Okay, a lot of us not prepared to do things of old because we're so used to modern society. And I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a single mother. You know, I had people tell myself, "Where your solar kits and all this stuff?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm trying to pay the bills. My whole life, when I get my check, before I even hit the bank account, I told you how high my light bill is. So you got light bill, water bill, gas. Bills are just too high. The main thing I'm trying to, when I get extra money, I'm trying to buy my kids shoes. I don't give a damn about no damn solar panels. I'm trying to get my baby some shoes. I'm sorry, guys, but it's really frustrating to hear some people's comments because they're very insensitive. Unless they're going through it, they'll never understand. You know, I had one of my Facebook friends. She gonna put on my page, "Oh, but you better get a chainsaw. Your survival skills need to kick in." Okay, you talking about freezing weather? Where I'm gonna find a Where I'm gonna find, you know how much a chainsaw is? I don't know. I don't deal with chainsaws. I'm a woman. I don't have no husband that does. You, even if I had a chainsaw, I'm not risking cutting off my hand. I don't know what I'm doing with no chainsaw. You know, I'm not a technical person like that. I've never done stuff like that. And you know, when do I have time to learn how to use a chainsaw? When I'm working and trying to pay bills and wash and cook and clean, my schedule is already filled with a lot of stuff. You know, it just, people just insensitive. And I did see a couple of that same group. They was chopping trees down. They chopped the tree down. They was cutting them some firewood. But see, you got to realize I'm a black woman. The stuff that they can get away with, I wouldn't be able to get away with that. If I went on some land or some property and just start cutting a tree down, you could best believe they would lock me up. You know, and I was kind of thrown back by her comment, but I just said, you know what? Obviously, she doesn't understand the severity of it because she's living in Florida in her high-rise apartment. So, you know, when you're not affected by something, it's hard for you to connect because you know, that's why the rich could never understand what poor people go through, because to them they just like, well, why don't they do this or why don't they do that? Maybe because they don't have the money to do it. You know, if I'm in the groceries, if I have, and I know people say, oh, it only costs this much, it only costs that much, but why would I mean, just to be honest, because I've bought, in my past I've bought like survival stuff, you know. And a lot of times when you buy that stuff, it expires. And it expires and it deteriorates because how often do you need that? You have that stuff sitting in storage and it year after year after year. And people used to ask me, what you got that for? Oh, that's for when if something happens. You know, they're like, okay. But it gets bad. And after a while, some of that stuff you can't even use after a while. You know? So at the end of the day, if my kids need, you know, they have their own needs with school and field trips and, you know, just different little things they need. I'm going to get what's necessity at that moment versus what might happen. So, you know, I just get a little ticked off by people because they so insensitive. And I'm sitting up there burning this firewood and I'm just praying, Lord. But when that last wood I burned, I looked at my daughter, and one of my daughters is autistic. And if you have any children that's autistic, you know that they don't like to be touched. Most of them have sensory issues, and they don't want you to touch them. My daughter, when she was a baby, when she was little, she didn't like hugs and stuff. It used to really hurt me because I'd be like, why my baby push away? She don't want you to touch her. And that was very nerve-wracking for me because we were so cold where we needed body temperature to keep ourselves warm. And I was trying to get her to understand that, but she would not. She got all her blankets and wrapped herself up like an egg roll. And she didn't want us near her. And me and my other daughter, we were trying to get warm, but I was just trying to make sure they was warm because I was extremely cold. But I kept the fire going all night. I'm trying not to get upset, guys, but you know, people love to run their mouth and talk what they don't know. But until you have kids, I was literally checking my babies. I kept checking my baby with autism because she was like 6 feet away from us. Like, she was nowhere near us. Her whole face was red because it was so cold in there. Our skin was burning. Our skin was burning. It was almost like, even though we was inside, we wasn't playing in the snow or anything. It was just our skin was burning. It was cold in there. It was cold like we was in a freezer. And I'm checking to see if my baby breathing. Guys, I'm trying not to cry. It's so hard, but I'm checking to see if my kids is still alive. So you know what? People could talk what they want to talk, but until you go through some stuff, you gotta live a little bit. I'm imagine you checking to see if your children are still alive. And I said to myself, we can't do this another night. I knew then if we had to do that another night or two, we wouldn't make it. I instantly start after the firewood burned out. I had some coal in the house. And I was just like, maybe I burn the coal in the firewood. Now in my mind said no. Something in my mind was like, no, don't burn that coal in the fire. Don't go burn that coal. That's not gonna be safe. But something else was like, I need to get warm. And see, that's why I felt bad for people who died in this situation, because people don't understand when you go through extreme weather like that, you are in survival mode. You don't even think like you normally would think because your body is shutting down. Like, all your body thinking is about survival. And sometimes you get delusional in your thinking because the only thing you're thinking about is getting warm. You don't care. Everything, all the logic on stuff go out the window. That's why you have people sitting in their car, in their garage, with the car running and them sitting in the car trying to get warm. It's not that they're dumb. They just in survival, they're reacting. And at the time, your body, you could look this up because I was going to school to be a nurse, and I remember us talking about something like this. Your body goes in survival mode. So if that's just like if you're hot and you at extreme temperatures and hot, you'll hear people say, I drunk my own urine. Because that was the only source of liquid they had. And all you thinking about is, I need some kind of relief. I need some water. I'm dehydrated. And if all the water you got coming in, the only liquid you got is coming out your body at that moment in time, you're gonna eat it. I mean, it's people that done ate their manure just to have a protein. So you gotta understand, people, when you go through these kind of things, it's survival mode. So you don't think clear. All you thinking about is the resource that you need, and you just need heat. I need heat. But luckily, I had a friend out here. She's a very beautiful woman. She actually invited me and my girls there to her house. And it was a struggle getting there because the whole place was ice. This state was not prepared. You dealing with a state that's used to being warm. They was not prepared for all that snow and ice. So we on our way going, all we see is cars pulled over, crashes and stuff. I stay right down the street from where they had that 103 car pile up on the expressway. Like, I mean, I'm literally in that area, and it's just, they didn't have. You see that, and you like, how come they couldn't stop? Because they couldn't. when you driving on ice, it's your car just gonna slide, baby. Okay, it's just gonna slide. It's nothing you could do about it. And if you was going a certain speed, which most of these people out here cannot drive, and some of the worst drivers you ever wanted, the most rudest drivers, and the most they just the most rudest and most selfish drivers. You could put your turn signal on, or you could put your light on to get to the other side, and you just want to let them know, I want to move to the other side. They will literally speed up their car. They're not going to let you get in front of them. They're crazy. So undoubtedly, they was driving just like they normally drive. And then they just lost control because they fly all the time. But anyway, I just wanted to give y'all an update on what's going on. I'm still without water. The state, I could tell a man from the city just came and asked me, do I have any water? I told him no. My apartment flooded. In my apartment building, they came up with the great idea to suck up all the water. The guy came in here and he just threw all my stuff everywhere. Sucked up as much water as he can. It's still soggy in there. But I'm like, why would y'all want me to live like that? I need another floor. My carpet has been submerged in water for almost a good 2 weeks. My ceiling has been leaking. And all you did was suck the water up and put a deodorizer in there. I'm aggravated because now I gotta go in there and try to sort out things. I don't have no water. Today is my day off, and I work this hard job, and I'm tired. My daughters need their hair done. I'm just tired, guys. It's just stressful. And you got people that judge you, and they don't know nothing what's going on. My prayer is that you don't ever have to go through something like this. And I know some of y'all thinking, well, I won't go through it because I'll be prepared. Okay, we'll see how prepared you is. Just because you prepared don't mean everybody ain't prepared. And after me being through several storms, I remember when I was younger, when we went through a hurricane. I think we went through Hurricane Andrew at the time. And my dad, when you go through things like this, people get selfish. We was looking for ice. It's so funny when you go through stuff like this, the most simplest things in life you look for. We couldn't find ice nowhere because nobody had ice. And my dad was searching for ice. I remember us driving all night looking for ice. Finally, my dad found some ice. And the man was selling each bag of ice for $25 for a bag of ice. And it wasn't even a full bag of ice. It was melted ice. It was a half a bag of melted ice, but it still had some cubes in it. Half the bag was already melted. But as soon as my dad tried to pick up that bag, another man tried to grab the end of the bag. Literally, they was fighting over a bag of ice that both of them was trying to pay. My dad had already paid the $25. So it was his ice. But this other man, I think he was Cuban. He wanted the ice. He didn't care my dad paid for it. He wanted the ice. He said the man told him he can have the ice. And my dad said, I just paid $25 for the ice. You ain't getting this ice. Somebody might try to take your resources. You don't know. And if you do, it's going to come a time where you're going to need somebody. Or you might not, you might not be able to, resources that you have, they might not all work. Because you can have something and it might, all of it might not work out. So, I just want to encourage people, try to have a little more sensitivity for people when they're going through things. Because you never know what people are going through. Stop being so cold and heartless. One thing this situation showed me too is who's really caring and who really are your friends. Because, like, if I had, you have a friend in need like that, and if you really care, I got so many people saying, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. You know, somebody real close to me, he contacted me 4 days in the situation, acting like he just found out about this. But they just was calling to be nosy. They didn't say, well, Shay, you need something? Shay, can I send you something? What's your cash app? Now, I had one or two people did that. They was like, send me your cash app. And they put something in there. It's a scripture in the Bible, James, I want to say James 13, 2 and 16. It says, is it 2 and 16 or 2? I think is it 3:16 or 2? I think it's James 2:16. Yeah, I think it's James 2:16. Y'all can check it for me. Just in case I'm wrong. I thought it was, I want to say 3:16. It's either 2:16 or 3:16, because I read this scripture a long time ago and it really hit home to me, but it came to my remembrance when I was going through what I'm going through right now. And in the scripture it says, what good is it for you to wish well for somebody? Like, you tell your friend, you see your friend and your friend is in need. You know they in need. And you tell them, God bless you. Go stay warm. I bless things get, almost like, I hope things happen good for you. I hope that you get the food you need. I hope you stay warm tonight. But you have the resources to help them, but you don't. So if you know they need your help, and they may, and because of the situation, they may not have resources to do the things you're telling them that you wish for them to have. What good is it for you to tell them for God to bless them? What good is that blessing? Because you have resources that could help them, but you don't want to, because for whatever reason, you don't trust God, you don't have faith, you're selfish, or you just don't, it's not your problem, so you're not concerned. So why wish blessings? I don't have much, but when I see people need stuff, whatever I have, I try to give it to them. Whether it's $10, whether it's $20, I be like, listen, y'all know I don't have a lot of money right now, but here, this is what I got. Even in my situation now, I try to help. And I'm not going to tell you what I did, because that was between me and those people. But it's people that still needed stuff. And I needed it too. But I said, you know what? Let me help them. Let me be a blessing to them. Because God is my source. The moment I did that, I had one person call me and put something in my account. Say, you need this? I got you. I just been having you in my spirit, and God told me to put this in here for you. So, I just want y'all to think about that, because a lot of times, you don't think like that until you go through something. And a lot of times, I got hundreds of people saying, hey, Shay, how you doing? The girls doing well. I hope y'all do okay. Just was thinking about y'all out there. Is everything all right? Just being nosy. But not one of them said, baby, what's your cash app? Let me send you $50. But it's amazing, y'all. They'll spend $30, $40 at IHOP. I mean, $30, $40 just at Starbucks. I done seen it. People buy coffee and all kind of snacks and stuff and all that. I had my own kinfolk. They was just contacting me just with some bull crap. Like, they were just like, oh, well, I was saying some prayers. Y'all own property and everything, And I can't count your money, but I just think if I was in y'all, if I was really somebody you cared for, you say you love me, but you don't ask what I need. If I need anything, me and my girls could have lost our lives. And that's what made me think differently now, because it's like, we could have been dead. That's how serious this was. This was not no, people from up north laughed at us because they was thinking, we go through this cold weather all the time. But you got to understand, New York and all these places up north, y'all be prepared for that. All year round, they make provisions for you guys to have what y'all need. They're gonna make sure that if the power goes out, they're gonna have a backup generator. They're not going to allow you being in a situation like that. They're going to salt those streets. They're going to prep those streets and roads as much as they can to prevent as many accidents as they can. They're going to have snow blowers and tractors to move snow, and they're going to be prepared. This state was not prepared because they don't go through that kind of stuff. So you can't judge somebody for what they're not prepared for. Because the majority of, to be honest, none of us was prepared. And to be honest, if a devastation happened, I would say only maybe 90%, only 10, maybe I would give maybe 7 to 8% might be prepared. But the rest of them, and a lot of them weren't prepared. They were just blessed enough to be living on the grid of, like, if you stay on the grid of the hospital, or I have a friend, that's why she always moved by a hospital. She like to stay by the city. She always moved by a hospital, a school, or a police station. She want to stay somewhere near that because those are the places where they constantly keep the lights on. They're not going to let those places be without lights. A lot of times the high school's going to be shelters. So most time they're going to still have their water and energy. The hospital, they're going to do everything they can. If you see the hospital without energy, even after Katrina, the hospitals, if they without energy, then it's something serious. Okay. Because most of the time they try to keep the lights on and the water. But if you don't fall on that grid, a lot of times they're not going to keep your lights on. They're not going to fight as hard. So, but anyway, guys, I'm getting tired. I'm just thinking about my day and how I'm going to get all this stuff done in one day, and I have to go back to work because the thing is, I was without work for a whole week. So, and I just started this job, so I don't get, paid vacations and all that. I just started. Luckily, he still kept me hired because I was not going to leave my kids without power and water. And we was in that extreme cold. You talking about under 0 degrees. So luckily I have a very kind, understanding manager. Not my direct manager, not my assistant manager. This is the one who runs the entire store. Very kind man, very understanding. He wanted me to be to work, but he told me if I couldn't take care of my babies first, but if I could come, he would want me to come. But I just been through a lot, guys. This whole situation, I had to get a hotel. You don't have money for this kind of stuff. You don't be prepared for it. You just don't be prepared. We've been eating out every night. I'm tired of eating out. The food is horrible. But at the time, we didn't have no electricity, so the only hot food we can get was like from McDonald's or something. Who want to eat McDonald's? It was just a lot. And and now I don't know if I should delete my Facebook account. I don't know. But I just see who really care. It just showed me who really cares for me. It did. It did. And some people calling me because they know everything. They think everything's over. So they want to just be like, girl, if I had that money, I would have helped. But you get that money up for them dudes, though. The dude come ask you, but you say you love me as your friend. That's why I say I respect Oprah for everything she do for Gail. Because I know everybody was like, oh, they love us, they gay. But, I think that she's a friend. I don't know if they're gay. I don't know what they do in their personal life. But I truly believe that friendship, if I have it, even if I just have a little bit, I'm going to send what I got. But anyway, I'm not going to tarry too long. I already talked enough. I'm getting tired, and I got a lot to do, guys. So, but that's why you haven't heard from me. That's why you haven't heard from me. So I hope all is well, and I hope all is well. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.